Biathlon and the Pichler family go a long way back. It all started more than 50 years ago with Hans Pichler.
Well, it was all on a very, very small scale, and our dad, he would call the boys like Walter to come and help cut trees or to tidy up and so on. There are photographs. He had this van where all the boys were sitting on the platform, and and then he would tell them, now you get going, and we collect this here and there. And he was always working with them. Quite tough, but get something done.
You have to visualize, there was like maybe a Friday where the kids had off school in the afternoon, and he said, okay, let's do it now. Two men, Uncle Hans, Wolfgang and Claus's father, my father, got out the chainsaw, cutting the small trees off, and the young kids, 15, 16, 17 years old, carrying the logs out, and so this is how it all started.
You have to say, so our whole family was, it was all, his mother, our mother.
It was clear that they all had
sisters,
to work as volunteers when there was a competition on a small scale, practically every second week or so, weekend. And when the World Cup started, everybody was involved. Walter's mother was at the
penalty loop.
Always the penalty loop, it was her job. Our mother looked after the journalists, they got something to eat from her, and so it went on and on.
The whole family was
One year I counted 25 people
from
relatives to run the show.
But I was responsible for the sponsoring at this time. It was really, so it was, I think, I was really proud. I was a young man, also by myself an athlete, but I was the first organizer where all our staff has the same clothes, with got skis and everything, so it was remembered.
Everything was a lot more amateur-like.
And you, Claus, you were press, weren't you? You were responsible for the press.
I did, for the 79 championships, I did the translation from German into English as a high school student, I would like to read it now after I had all the training to be a teacher for English. I think I would mark a few mistakes, quite a few.
Going back to 1979, that was our really first contact with East German athletes, and it was shocking for us that they couldn't talk to us, they couldn't interact with us. We were out in the woods meeting and maybe saying a little first hello, feeling the waters, and then they
Walter
took a
made
bit
friends
more
with Thomas Klinger then.
Yeah, I made friends over time. We didn't understand why couldn't they say anything to us. And then we met way out in the woods, 2 kilometers away, at the turning point. Okay, let's meet there quickly. A couple of words were said, and so relationships formed slowly to the point where 2 or 3 years later they were sneaking out of the hotel and meeting at my parents' place for a beer. 20 minutes where they told their coaches, hey, we go for a run, for a mobility run. 85, of course, my penalty loop in the relay, everybody have seen it. It was the time when there were no mats for standing shooting. And we did stuff like Kashkarov, I remember, he took the whole one ski off, shooting with one ski on, with one ski off. Some people I used the hat, I put the hat down, stepped on the hat so you wouldn't slide away.
But Wolfgang is talented in almost any sport, really.
Tennis I was quite good at.
And you?
Well, I wasn't talented at all, but I didn't want to be told, oh, you are not good at any sport. So when I was intermediate in high jumping, I started to train and ended up as German youth champion. So, and then I was acceptable for my brother. We are a very normal family, and very often it's the case if people are involved in it so intensively that the younger generation wants to be different, wants to start something else, maybe after a few years. it will be different. At the moment, it seems as if they want to say, keep your distance.
My son saw yesterday his first time biathlon live.
And in a way, he takes after his father because, first of all, he will object to an idea. And maybe after a long discussion, you get to a certain compromise. Now we have to separate certain groups and categories and so on. It's more difficult to get it organized. But we still want the same spirit, you see, that everybody feels at home here and give support to the best athlete.